Good afternoon and welcome to the Phillip Herbstein here in Constantia for this afternoon's encounter between DirectAxis False Bay Rugby Club and Hamilton SP Rugby Football Club. A clash of the Titans, two heavyweights of the Super A Division Rugby, and big welcome from our side on another magnificent day here in the Cape, as we are proud to present to you a production this afternoon brought to you by the Crazy Store, proud sponsor of False Bay Rugby. The first team, DirectAxis False Bay first team, coming up at 4 p.m. In the meantime, from my side, Steve Vestraat, a very warm welcome. In commentary with me this afternoon, Tyron Bloor. Tyron, welcome to the guys.
Thank you very much. Absolute pleasure to be here again. Like you said, absolutely phenomenal day for a good game of rugby.
Also then, obviously, the sponsors of the False Bay Club, production sponsored by the Crazy Store today. And then a big shout out to our headline sponsors, of course, as well. DirectAxis, Courier It, Ross Demolition, Avitech, ADT Fidelity, Bruce Jack Wines, and Noble Facilities Management. In a moment, we'll bring you the teams as they'll run onto the field today. First of all, the Hamilton side coming to be hosted here today at False Bay. A side full of senior and junior representatives, a team that from 1 to 18 have all played representative rugby in their own rights. Starting in the front row today, we have Rahiz Sali at number 1, who has played for the Eagles and the Lions in the Currie Cup as well as Western Province. The hooker for today is Shadwin Robertson. In making up the front row, Nick Roebuck, who's also played Sharks under 19 and is in fact a teacher at Rondebosch Boys Prep School. The second row is Davin Robenheimer, who's also the vice captain. Davin has played against the British and Irish Lions in 2009. That's quite a feather in his cap. Also having played in the 2005 S Under 21 Rugby World Cup and the Emerging Springboks 2008. Making up the second row with him today, Eddie Taron. The loose forwards are Xolile Apleni, and fondly known amongst his teammates as Sia Tsunami, has also played representative rugby at number 6. And with him in the at number 7 today, Owe Griezler has also played under 20 representative rugby, and the 8th man is Savli Aronsa. The halfback combination today has some really big names in it, and a familiar name to all of us in South African rugby, of course, is Rudy Page, who comes off the bench from last week and actually replaces Louis Nell, a fine young talent who unfortunately misses out due to illness. Rudy Page, of course, a Springbok, having also played for the Blue Bulls and the Sun Wolves in his day. At number 10 is Earl Lewis, fondly known as Jerry Lee Lewis by his teammates, has also played Lions and Boland. In the centre combination today is Wesley Scott and Mujahid van der Hoofen, and making up the back three on the wings at number 11, JP Lewis, and at 14 we have Wilton Peterson. The fullback for today is Angelo Nelson. Just to mention, our screen has gone off here, production. To bring you then the password. The False Bay side for today. In the front row we have Wesley Chetty. Wesley Chetty, of course, part of the 2011 UCT champions in the Varsity Cup. In the front row at number 2 with him this afternoon is Andre van Vieren for the Flum. 205 caps today for the False Bay side. And at number 3 we have David Geffen, the Weinberg boy, making up the front row for today's encounter. The second rowers for today are Umar Sali in the number 4 jersey and Adam De Cavallo, a former pupil at Sachs High School and of course representing Marty's University before returning to the Bay. The loose forwards, Lukanya Lomzango, a former representative of the border side in professional rugby. And at 7 today, your captain is Thabo Ngongo, who was also came from KZN, represented the Sharks in age group, and has been well received for his leadership skills and high work rate in the Western Cape. First of the 3 changes today in the False Bay outfit, of course, is at number 8, Ryan Fleiss Olivier comes in, and he comes back into the starting lineup at number 8, and it's a momentous occasion for him today as he brings up his 200th cap for the Bay. Representing the Bay since under 20 level, Fleiss has also played Varsity Cup for Tuks and in the Western Province setup. Your halfbacks again, Dylan Freindlich, who had a phenomenal game last week in the counter against Brackenfell. Obviously, we know he's got a Stormers cap, Griquas and Pumas representative. And at number 10, the return return of Ewan Adams in place of Luke Jacobs, who makes his way onto the bench today. Your centres for today's encounter are Mornay Small and Darren Jafter again, and then the very exciting back three of False Bay, of course, who ran circles around Brackenfell a couple of weeks ago. You got Mustakim Jappi, also a Centurion, and then we also have on the right wing Dani Roo, also a Centurion in terms of cap, and making up the back three is Darian Hock. That is then your starting lineup for this afternoon's encounter.
Phil, this is Phil Premier, head coach of Hamilton. Welcome to False Bay.
What a great day to come out here. Weather play the part today, so yeah, let's hope we can have some good rugby on the pitch.
Tell us about your COVID-19 challenges over the last year and a half, Phil.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, we're all in the same boat. Some clubs started really early. It was challenging in the beginning, but yeah, at the end of the day, COVID is there. We need to deal with it, and for us at the club, I think we're on the right track. I think results in the last couple of weeks show that. But it's tough. At the end of the day, I just think we need to adapt with it.
Exactly. Retaining the interest of players has been a huge challenge for you coaches. Tell us about your player depth.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we all know if Hamilton hasn't got a great feeding ground. We need to go look for players and approach them and come to the club. We did a big drive. Obviously, there's a bigger picture for us at the end of the days. Our player depth is looking good at the moment. So yeah, I'm happy at this stage. You know, we always become short when it comes to the props, but at the end of the day, the guys that are here at the moment, those are the first choice guys. And yeah, let's see how it goes today.
And this season is a no promotion, no relegation season. With that in mind, and I'm sure you're a competitive coach, so I know the answer, but just for the sake of it, does it change the approach to the game?
No, it doesn't change the approach. The big thing for us at the end of the day is, you know, you're in the top league, you need to stay in that league, you need to make a good name for yourself, you need to put authority down. There is rumours about the club team that's winning this, let's call it the COVID Cup or whatever you want to call it, that will go to club champs. And for us, we let our players know about that. So we're going full out for this.
Right. Injuries, you know, it's 14-month layoff. You know, it's a preparation, physical preparation. How have you weathered the injury battle?
Yeah, well, this is part of our game. Injuries is part of the game. Obviously, we've got a lot of senior guys here. The big thing is, I had a chat with one of the senior guys after the first couple of games. They said, you know what, coach, at the end of the day, you make 2, 3, 4, 5 tackles. It feels like a truck run over you. We need to take in consideration that these guys haven't played rugby for, let's call it a year and a half. So the bodies will feel it. And I think the more they play, the better we'll get.
And one last question. Today, you're using it as the final trial or as a dress rehearsal for your game, for your season?
Yeah, obviously we want to be tested. I think today is the big test. We did have pre-season games. Obviously, nothing against the other teams that we played against. But yeah, if you want to be in this league, you want to compete with the top guys. So we see False Bay as one of the top guys. And yeah, let's hope we all come out injury-free after today.
Yeah, definitely, and agree with you on that one. And in closing, Phil, anything you just want to say?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, again, we want to test ourselves against the top 5. We see False Bay at those things. And yeah, let's hope we all get out of this injury-free and let's just enjoy the day.
Oh, wonderful. See you a little later for a cold one. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye. Oh, sorry. Good afternoon. We have Jono van der Walt, the False Bay head coach. Jono, big game today. Tell us a little bit about how COVID has challenged you guys as a team, as a squad.
Yeah, John, thanks. COVID, like where to start? Maybe last year, Feb, March, indoors, we can't do anything, lockdown, and we had a few decisions to make, whether we just want to sit indoors and be nothing, or we start off with home challenges and try to challenge each other on WhatsApp and Zoom and MS Teams and so on. And as the months went on and we were allowed to come out of our little nest and so on, we just started training, and guys would rock up outside my house and my road, and we'd run and I'd have a stopwatch, and slowly we just started building. And eventually, once we were allowed to hit the gym, we basically got into CrossFit very early on, and we've just been training for the last 14-15 months. So again, it's everybody's just very excited to be back on the field.
Yeah, the boys want to play. Jono, you know, COVID lockdown has been, as you just mentioned, a sort of a natural player drive away. What's your player depth like?
again, we're very fortunate at False Bay. One, just maybe our success kind of in the last maybe decade or 12, 13 years, and we've created a brand where players are drawn to this club as well. And but I think the greatest kind of success and maybe our benchmark is that all the coaches are very driven, and we drive performance, consistency home a lot. And I think some of the players like it, and that's why they stick around and they train.
Yeah, great. And good news that Marty's are back in. That sort of evens the two leagues up. There was one league, one team short. There's no promotion relegation. How does the season look forward to you?
Yes, so I think for some clubs they might see no promotion relegation as maybe a time to blood some of the youngsters. Maybe it's a time to give maybe the second, third team guys who wouldn't play ones a chance now because there's no pressure, there's no risk of them going down. But I'm a little bit competitive, John, and I just believe that we train every single week and we prepare to win every single game that we play. So whether it's promotion relegation or not, if there's a league and there's a trophy up for grabs, we sure as hell want to make sure that one of our hands are on that other side.
Yeah, I think all the coaches are like that, and that's what makes this league so competitive. Injuries over the last 14 months?
Yeah, funny enough, there haven't been season-ending injuries, but there's been a lot of soft tissue injuries, a lot of groins, calves, hamstrings, especially a lot of hamstrings, and we spend a lot of time on prehab and training, and guys do lots of grass and field and cross and running sessions. But I think it's the volume and the level of intensity, and some of the guys, maybe lockdown you put on a few extra kgs, and whether it be 7 or 10 kgs, and now you start to run on the field and the body doesn't quite adjust. So all of those things we're slowly starting to kind of weed through, and we are 16 weeks on return to play at the moment, and the guys are starting to look very good now.
Great. Jono, today's the test. Just exactly how well you've prepared, how the team's ready. Good luck, and I hope you do well.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much.
Anton, is it? I'll check out for it.
Good afternoon and welcome again here from False Bay. Phillip Herbstein Sports Field nestled in the winelands of Constantia on a beautiful day once again here in Cape Town. An absolute perler, and I'm sure we're going to see some lovely running rugby once again. As said earlier, welcome again to all our guests from all over the world tuning in and watching this game live with us. We look forward to bringing you this broadcast once again. I'm Steve Vestrad. In the commentary box with me this afternoon is Tyron Blur. Good afternoon, Tyron.
Good afternoon, Ves. Absolute pleasure to be with you here again. Just a quick one, shout out to all the boys obviously abroad. Shields and Nino, I know the guys are watching and chomping the bit for today's proceedings.
Again, guys, welcome to the home of running rugby. We're just minutes away now from the live broadcast of the DirectAxis False Bay First 15, playing against, of course, Hamilton's, being the oldest rugby club in South Africa, having been founded in 1875. The first team coming out shortly. The second team encounter has just ended with a lovely victory for the False Bay boys in terms of the second team out scoring their opposition here today by 52 points to 8 in a festival of running rugby, having led 43 at the break. A great win for the second 15, and I'm sure the coaches, as they come across the field now, Gunnar Hughes, Kersey Marshall, Ollie Steiner, and the team there will be very proud of their boys this afternoon. They'll be enjoying a few cold beverages, even if it is off-site today. TB, unfortunately for them.
No, absolutely. I'm absolutely aware the guys had a great time last week after the game. A few festivities were had, and after a great win.
All right then, all that's left for us this afternoon then is to bring you the live broadcast here from the Phillip Herbstein in Constantia. False Bay against Hamiltons. Should be an epic encounter. Two of the heavyweights of the Super A division in terms of Western Province Club Rugby. I would consider them both to see each other as top 5 sides. And of course no promotion relegation this season due to the COVID pandemic and due to regulations. This would be deemed a friendly. And no official caps will be handed out. But from the False Bay side, a very special day, playing in his 200th game today, of course, is the return of Ryan Vleis Orifir in the number 8 jersey. 200 caps for him. Only 3 changes from the side that beat Brackenfeld 2 weeks ago in an enthralling encounter, very bruising and physical encounter. Of course, is Ryan Orifir coming back into the side, and Ewan Adams replacing Lukey Jacobs at this point in time, who moves to the bench. TB, what are your thoughts on this afternoon's encounter? How do you see the things panning out here?
I think we're in for a great Saturday of rugby. Hamilton's coming off a good win last week, beating Villagers 96-3, if I'm not mistaken. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of experience, a lot of talent in the Hammies team, as well as the False Bay team. So I think there's no better place to be than down here in Constantia, watching these two sort of rivals take each other on.
Yeah, look, we're hoping for a good bruising encounter this afternoon. No injuries, hopefully. Of course, from the side of Hamiltons, they had a very convincing win last week when they beat Villagers by 90-odd points. So hopefully a bit of a sterner opposition for them, as that was their derby encounter last week. We're hoping that things will be a lot closer this week and that you'll enjoy this production with us. We have the best seat in the house. You have the best seat in your house. Sit back, grab a beverage and enjoy it with us. As we now wait for the teams to run out, we have the referees on the sideline, linesmen getting into position, COVID regulations adhered to, and a good afternoon of running rugby is in store for all of us. Referee has called the players to come out. We just wait for the teams to make their appearance now, and we can get on with proceedings.
Michael.
Now we await, here they are. DirectAxis False Bay. First 15, led out by Tabo and Gongo, their captain. Take to the field. Dylan Freilich runs on. Instrumental in the victory last weekend. And then the back three, very daunting opposition for the women from Hamiltons here today. As mentioned earlier, of course, the Hamiltons have from 1 to 18 representative players who have played in provincial honours or higher. And of course we have an international player in our midst here today in the number 9 jersey for Hamiltons in Rudy Page, having played Super Rugby for both the Bulls and the Sunwolves. And on paper, I would say that the Hamiltons 15 certainly looks a team to be reckoned out here today, TB.
couldn't agree with you more, Wes. The right-hand common is full of achievements from these players. Like you said, at least 18 of them have played representing rugby. So I think we're in for a thrilling encounter here at the Bay.
Things going to get underway here with us. False Bay playing from the right-hand side down towards the left-hand side of the field. And number 10 for False Bay today, making his return, Ewan Adams, of course, an Cheetah's age group player, having played for UJ as well, and having had 3 seasons at the Bay, spends his afternoons in the sales industry during the day. That's how he makes his living, and he's got us underway with a beautiful hanging kick to the far side of the field, taken in by Hammies. Beautifully presented at this point in time. Ruck formed over there, slow ball to come out, and immediately they're going to send it downfield and look for territory. Opportunity for False Bay to counteract here, and immediately they send it wide and down the line, looking for the corner now. Yep, the sanctity of the touchline perhaps here, a good option early on in proceedings, as we now have play taking place right in front of us here on the halfway line. False Bay to feed, and a young Keith Woods looking number 2, maybe not as young as he looks, but still very, very fierce, as Phillip van Vuren here to throw the ball in right in front of us. False Bay, the experience of Wes Chetty in the front of the line out over here. Where will it go? It goes to the back, beautifully presented, off the top, and away we go. Quick ball, the order of the day, yeah? Looks like it's been turned over though. Rudy Page goes blindside, looking for the big man now. It's the big man, offloading down the right hand side to number 14 over there, Wilton Peterson. But I think he had a foot in touch. Unfortunately, there opportunism there immediately from Hamilton's, picking up on the turnover ball there, getting it out wide. Lovely play from Page, getting it to Wilton Peterson, former SA Schools, SA Sevens and Junior Springbok. But unfortunately, a foot in touch as we go back live to Van Vuren to put the ball in. TB.
Yeah, well, thrilling 2 minutes so far. Can't wait for the rest.
Beautifully taken again in the lineup by Umar Sali, and False Bay take to the air with the Gary Owen. A beautifully weighted kick into the middle of the field and lost forward here by Hamilton. So opportunity for False Bay to go on the attack here. Freiling foraging in deep, looking for possession. Offloads to Chetty. Chetty finds Van Vuren. He goes bullocking as per last week. How many storming runs will he have in front of us this week? And again, they're looking open side of the field now. Goes out to the back line. Short pass off to the number 7, Thabo Nkongo, the captain. Well met in midfield. Ball beautifully presented, and we have another phase as False Bay look to throw it far and wide. Look at that, beautiful hands. And there we have an infringement. Unfortunately, the Hamilton boys offside, and False Bay have a penalty in the centre of the field. If anything, if last week's anything to go by, I'm sure that they would be looking for the touchline, giving up several opportunities last week to go for the posts and playing into that left-hand touchline. Of course, victorious at the end of the day, but they had a few very scary moments having not taken the points. And I think in a big encounter against a top side that Hamilton's are, maybe 3 points is the order of the day here today. Titanic encounter coming your way today, live from False Bay. Phillip Herbstein, as two titans of the Western Cape in terms of club rugby meet head to head, and we're proud to be able to bring you this today, and very thankful for our production today. Wouldn't have been possible without the Crazy Store. We'd like to thank them for bringing this live feed of Super Rugby into your home today. Enjoy it with us, and let's see what happens here. And he's pulled it to the left of the uprights. Unfortunately, we're going to have a 22 dropout. Hamilton's to kick off.
Early lead off there for Hamilton's. Yeah,
certainly was. 3 points not being taken there by False Bay early on, and it's a beautiful hanging kick The big man number 8 there, back on the field. It's Flace who takes it in for False Bay. Beautifully met there and sets up a pod halfway. Middle of the field, offload to Chetty with another bollocking run. Frylink with quick ball now, sending it left as a return of number 10, Ewan Sadam, stepping his way through there, but unfortunately losing the ball forward. And now an opportunity there for Hammies. And they get the scrum put in after the infringement and the knock-on from False Bay. False Bay are making their intentions clear again to run the ball from everywhere on the field today at TB.
Exciting 5 minutes. Couple errors creeping into the False Bay setup. Let's see if they can iron those out and get the ball rolling.
Okay, exciting times again now is for the highlights of a lot of mothers around the world. It's now time for the first scrum as the ball be put in here by Rudy Page, of course former Springbok number 9, Bulls and Sunwolves representative. A little bit of space here on the open side for Hamiltons if Rudy's have spotted it, with the number 11 Jappi 20 metres back, of course also having to man this open touchline. If they can get a right shoulder on you, I think Page will be away and they'll have one man to beat. It's all about quick ball though, as the scrum goes down. And unfortunately they have no option but to go to the back line. Up the middle they go. Ball beautifully presented here as Page waits. And again to the air. Jappi underneath it. Here's an exciting man with ball in hand. Frylink in the midfield. He's looking for Hock. Hock's going to look for the open side touchline. Goes to the boot. Unfortunately straight down the throat of number 11, and he's going to counter-attack for Hamiltons here. Opportunities abound both sides of the field here for Hammies. False Bay defence very flat here. And on the open side looks like they found some space. A lot of runners now hanging in the back line, forwards in the back line. It looks like they're going to set up a few phases here. Lovely jinking run from the number 10 there for Earl Lewis. Jerry Day Lewis, or Jerry Lee Lewis as fondly known by his peers. Lovely offload from the big number 3 over there. No look pass, but beautifully met in the midfield by Chetty again. Unfortunately, infringement coming there from False Bay, and away they go quickly. Rudy Page showing his experience with a quick take. False Bay not back 10 metres. Let's see if the ref plays advantage as they go to the open side again. And again, they go to the open side, down to the touchline. They've got acres of space to the right now if they're ready to spread it wide. But it looks like they're going to use the big men bashing down the middle again. Number 5, beautiful offload again. Good running. And hopefully now they're going to send it out wide. It looks like a turnover though for False Bay. And away they go. TB.
Johnny Roo picking up immensely strongly on the right wing. Looking for quick ball again. It's Frylink. Cuts it out. 200 caps Flace. He puts in the left boot. It's definitely going to result in him down a pint later.
Unlucky for Flace, but looking for a room again. If Jappi gets that, he's away. Magic moments early on in the encounter. Flace, unfortunately, there with a little grubber. A little bit of vision from the big man over there. A lot of experience. He saw the opportunity, but unfortunately kicking it into the opposition. Now we have a line out on the 10-metre line, and we're in False Bay territory. First medical repairs out onto the field as we kindly told that it's not necessary over there from Van Vuren, and he says, I'm fine, I'm going to play on. And the ball's going to be put in by Chadwin Robinson for Hamiltons. On the 10-metre line, False Bay territory, nearest to the Bay restaurant. Let's see how things go from the Hamiltons perspective in the line. Now taking a bit of time to get this in, referee asking for the 5 metres. Interesting times to see how they set play. And it goes to the middle, off the top to Page. Page to Lewis. Lewis finding the more unceremoniously met in midfield. Who was that, TB?
It's Lucanio again with a big hit, always lurking there in the midfield.
The bone collector racking up numbers here this afternoon again. I've become very familiar to see that from the open side flanker. And now held up in the midfield. Can they keep them with the ground? Nope. Ruck is formed, and again here come Hamiltons. It's to and fro. Both sides exploring the running options here this afternoon. Once again, the big man opting to send it out wide. 15 now. Angelo Nelson for Hamiltons. Well held up. It's a tackle ball called by the referee. They managed to get to ground. Rudy Page with a beautiful box kick over the ruck. Looking for that far touchline. It brings Darian Hock into play. What can he conjure up? He gets it away onto the left boot. And for the moment, False Bay have found the sanctity of the touchline. And no damage there. Excellent play from Rudy Page there, spotting the opportunities in the open spaces. You can see the experience of a Springbok on the field here, TB.
You can see a player of that caliber, of showing his experience, just a dink over the top. I think another lucky bounce of the ball, it could have been a different story.
Absolutely brilliant work there from the back three of False Bay to get back. And again, it's going to be Chadwin Robertson to feed the line out. We're looking for the big men in the middle, I'm sure. Eddie Teron and David Robbenhaber. Eddie Teron is a massive man, standing well over 2 meters in height. But they go to the back. Page off the top. Oh! And it's away off the knock-on. Tabu gets it away to Morne Small. And the first points of the afternoon on the board for False Bay, the home team. A bit of a moment with the knock-on falling fortunately into the hands of the False Bay player there. TB, do you want to talk us through that little play?
I think very fortunate for False Bay side, but showing good clear heads to execute that, and crossing over the whitewash.
And we can hear the limited pub behind us here come to life as the broadcast is, of course, played inside thanks to the Crazy Store this afternoon. And a loud noise coming from the inside. You could almost feel the thunder here and the ground rattling below us from a small crowd, but a very proud and a very one-sided crowd here this afternoon. And it looks like the kicking with Darian Hock, number 15 here for False Bay. Can he add the further 2 points here? Having missed an early penalty opportunity right in front of the uprights, but 40 meters out. He's now about 15 meters to the left of the uprights, has the opportunity to turn 5 into 7. And he strikes it beautifully, and the extra 2 points are there. False Bay lead 7 points to 0. TB, a very positive start for the men from the Bay here today.
Yeah, I think both teams still figuring it out, sort of weighing each other out, and I think False Bay very fortunate to get on the board there first.
Slightly against the run of play. A big move in the midfield, but the ball lost, falling out of the coffers there, but landing straight into the hands of the False Bay players, who then managed to break away. The offload to Morne Small, who had a lot of work to do, had to break another tackle before being able to find his way over the whitewash and giving False Bay the lead. Rudy Page. Excellent vision there. Changing play, running to the open side and then doing the switchback.
Oh, it's Dylan Freiling down the right-hand touchline. Does he have the gas to get there?
Freiling's away. And again, a mistake from Hamilton costing them dearly, as once again we have points on the board for False Bay. Little bit of a mistake. Ball lost in the possession there. And False Bay now run away to a 12-point lead in the first half here. And Hamiltons will have to look in the mirror because they only have themselves to blame at this point in time, TB. Is that an N or H? I can't remember. Oh, N.
We spoke about a lot of Dylan Freiling last week, showing his experience and ever-present as a good scrummer should be. Very fortunate to get there and under the sticks.
Enterprising play from Hamilton's has now come back to bite them twice. Very unfortunate. I think False Bay will be very happy with proceedings at this point in time. Could easily have been 7 points down, but as it stands, they now lead by 12 points to 0 as we 13-14 minutes into the first half. A very flattering position to be in, but of course massive pressure on the Hammies now. Do they continue to play the same kind of rugby? I think they have no choice, TB.
Completely agree with you. I think they're going to have to, can't change much. Obviously, I think the error count they're going to have to try cut out. But like you say, very fortunate, but a commanding position to be in with 14 minutes down in this game.
Unfortunately, this time, Darian Hock pushing the ball just wide of the uprights there. But nonetheless, it's 12 points to 0 for the False Bay as the DirectAxis False Bay lead the Hamiltons, the visitors today, by 12 points to 0 in this exciting encounter. Coming to you live from the Phillip Herbstein in Constantia. Thanks to the Crazy Store. Time for the restart. It's going to be Mr. Lewis over there, Earl Lewis.
Should I order us a beer via the mic?
If you don't mind, TB, that would be much appreciated. A good hanging kick, but beautifully taken in there by False Bay again. Seemed to be the more organised of the two outfits this afternoon in terms of holding on to the ball and just much fewer errors. And now Freilich at the base looks to put the boss kick. He's put the Gary Owen up. It's going to be competed in the air. And again, Excellent kick there from Freinrich. He's really manning up here today. Of course, he's got that one Stormers cap. He's going to show Rudy plays that he's also to be reckoned with. And this time, Rudy deciding not to go quickly, slow things down. I think that's a good option, as we had a couple of errors and a few mistakes that have cost them dearly. Maybe the option here to take the opportunity to find the far touchline and go spend some time deep down in False Bay territory. Kick is a good one, and we're going to have a play now about 10 meters out, far touchline, False Bay territory. Ball to be thrown in by Chadwin Robertson. I suspect maybe something down the middle here and trying to maul it up towards that corner flag. What do you think, TB?
Completely, like you said, I think Hamilton's team was just trying to consolidate, less error count, and I think this passion play will be quite crucial.
Opportunity for them to strike right back here. I think a little bit more structure, the order of the day here for Hammies as they get the opportunity to feed this line out. Let's have a look what they do. They go to the front, number 5 there, the towering inferno, Eddie Teron. And exactly as we thought, they were looking to set up the maul. It has gone to ground. No sign from the referee that it was illegal at this point in time. But the ball is now there for Rudy Page. He's going to look for the big man again. It's the number 1, Rahi Sully, who bashes it up. Hasn't made much meters, but they're just slowing things down, slightly more structure now in the play here. And as they come with the second fade, it's now another big man, number 3, Nick Rubeck. Of course, the Sharks under 19 player and teacher at Rondebosch Boys High School now. But here they come. Here come the runners. In midfield, the cutback in the centre position there by Wesley Scott with Mujavit van der Hoofen. Now slightly held up tackle is the call. Ball goes to ground. An opportunity now to set up some phases here for the visitors. Uwe Griesler taking it up. Ball to ground. 4-5 phases now. A lot more structure. That's the big man again. Beautifully met by Rahi Sully, TB.
Donnie Roo again showing his muscle, showing the gym paying off.
And again, becoming a very bruising encounter in the front now. They've seemed to have changed tactics slightly. They're going to go a bit more direct route in these mid stages of the half. A lovely box kick by Lewis, but unfortunately, Hock again there, beautifully taken, and he gets the free kick.
Well read by the young man there.
Boys look fresh at this stage, they look hungry. 18 months on the sideline, a lot of work in the gyms, a lot of work indoors, and a lot of bad dreams wondering when rugby was going to come back. But now's an opportunity for to take them quickly. Hammies up the left-hand touchline through their number 11, JP Lewis, the captain, as he sets up play now just shy of the halfway line. But again in False Bay territory, the big number 7, Uwe Griesler, again another Brody King run. And unfortunately illegally dealt with there from the player. We'll see from the ref now. He didn't stay on his feet, in fact, when he went into the ruck. And False Bay have a penalty 55 metres out, and we have an injury. We have a man down.
Let's hope we're not too serious there. Referee showing a little bit of concern there. Let's hope the buggers are right.
Dummies behind the rock, I see you.
Doesn't look to be too serious. It looks to be on the lower limbs over there. A big knock in the midfield. Well met, of course, there. And then the infringement leading to the penalty for the False Bay boys. While we have a break in play as we now midway into the first half. Again, thank you to the Crazy Store and obviously the other key sponsors of the False Bay Rugby Club here, the DirectAxis First 15 as it's known. DirectAxis False Bay First 15, key title sponsor here. Of course, the other sponsors again on the day today. We have Courier, we have Ross Demolition, Noble Facilities Management, Avatec, ADT Fidelity, and of course today Bruce Jack Wines coming on board for a Man of the Match prize as well. I think the boys enjoying the break here midway through the first half, but it does look like the number 7 for False Bay has done himself a bit of an injury there that's going to lead to him being shepherded off the field, and it looks like we will have a replacement on the field for him. False Bay failing to find touch though, and here come Hammies.
No, you missed it.
Rudy Page goes to the open side. It's number 22 with the ball in hand now. Ball beautifully taken up to the halfway line. Well presented. It's Lewis in midfield again. I wouldn't be surprised if that man was slightly offside, but behind the back of the referee. Well met then in the midfield. Good timing, I'll give it to him. As again now the opportunity to chip into the open field. But False Bay have read it well. Magnificently Place has kept that in play with one hand. Tapped it back. And now to the boot here. But straight down the middle of the field. This could be enterprising. Here's a massive opportunity to counter-attack. As Lewis takes it and feeds it out to number 21.
Says another.
21 unfortunately is an other on our team sheets. So just bear with us over there. And again, it's becoming a bit of to and fro now as the ball sent back down into the Hammies territory. Rudy Page again finding Lewis who's going to send it downfield again from outside of his 22. And he has found a good touch there, but quickly taken by False Bay. No time to breathe here as we go from one side of the field to the other. Takes to the boot once again. Found a lot of open space. That is an incredibly good kick. And it looks like we're going to have a line out very near the Hamilton's field as Van Vuren manages to get there to make sure that this one doesn't get taken quickly. An incredible kick down the right side of the field there, and we actually have a line out now 5 meters out. Far touch line, and Hammies to feed under serious duress here from False Bay, who have a 12-point lead as it is. So a score here again would be a serious punch in the heart for Hamilton's TB.
100%. Just trying to see if False Bay put some pressure on the Hammies boys here. Always pressure 5 meters out.
Expect to see another maul perhaps here down the right. Maybe ball to the middle of the line out. Seems the sensible play here with 12 points already in the bag. Let's see if they can maul it over.
The short arm to the back.
Yep. Taking too long to get it in, and the short arm going the way of False Bay. But they're in no rush here, having the lead of 12 points to 0 at this point in time. They're taking their time. Freilink here. What are they going to opt for? It's going to be a tap and go, it looks like.
Scrum green.
And they've called for the scrum. Brilliant attacking position here.
Table. I will not.
Opportunity here for Freilink to feed the scrum and get those backs away with amples of space to the left here. We haven't seen much of Mustaqim Japi this afternoon, and I think if there was an opportunity to get it wide from a good scrum, we'd hope to get this through the centres and out to the left wing here. Very difficult man to stop one-on-one, as alluded to last week, the hot stepper himself. So that would be, if I was a betting man, I would consider my money pretty safe on getting the ball out to him here.
Pull the ball. I want to see it pulled. Crouch.
See, I'm inside.
Bind. Sit. Remain 5. Hold 5. Hold 5. Okay. Ball, please. Ball. It's a penalty against you.
Big scrum from False Bay there, and an infringement
3.
from
Pull out of the
Hammies.
contest.
3 pulling out of the contest.
Scrum.
And they're going to opt for another scrum. So obviously they feel they've got the ascendancy there, TB.
Yeah.
Completely dominant scrum up front. 5 meters out. Always going to be under pressure the Hammies side. But yeah, let's see what the Bay can produce from here.
Small man in stature, but certainly not
No.
in the
There's no
scrum.
such thing as a danger zone.
On the tight
No,
side
not
over
either.
there. The front row of False Bay as
Old
well.
lifestyle.
We have old Wesley Chetty.
Crouch.
Giffen unfortunately off.
Bind. Sit. Behind
Not more of a solid scrum there from Hamilton's this time, but the ball beautifully presented for False Bay here. And they bash it up in the first phase again. It's that big man smile again.
Roll away.
Absolutely a lot of muscle on that lad. Let's see what the Bay can produce. A quick ball coming around the corner. Oh, stunning. Hold up just short. Freilink again off to Chetty.
Chetty
Try time,
scores!
Chetty.
Well-deserved try there for Wes Chetty. He's been a monster in that front row over the last 2 weekends. And finding himself in a little bit of space, presence of mind to get the ball into one hand and place it over the trial end. And False Bay now 17 points to the good with 15 minutes left in the first half. TB, I'm sure you have enjoyed it this far.
Oh, it's been a cracker thus far. Always good to see False Bay scoring points. I just can't wait for the 45-minute breakdown of Chetty's try.
You won't see many better from the number one.
You still need to change your jersey though. Yeah.
And another opportunity here for Darian Hock to add a further 2 points. 17 points to the good now, False Bay. And at the moment, it's looking like a little bit of one-way traffic. A couple of early mistakes from Hamilton's, and they haven't been able to recover.
I think the Hammies side will feel a bit unlucky. Couple bounce of balls gone False Bay's way. But I think, there's a lot of rugby still to play.
Head down, follow through, and Darian Hock adds the further 2 points for False Bay. 19 points to 0.
I'm going to take a chance. I know they're streaming the game inside. If we could please get a waitress outside, we'd really appreciate it.
I think you can place your order. And we get underway again with Lewis. A beautiful hanging kick just over the 10-meter line. False Bay setting up beautifully. They're taking the ball in through the number 4 there, Umar Sali. Having a big game once again this week. The second rowers of False Bay having standout over the last 2 weekends. Very few mistakes from set plays as well. And now, deep downfield, what are Hammies going to do now? Savli Orenser with a touch there, going down the middle of the field.
Stay up, 8.
They work the blind side. A little bit of space there, crossing the advantage line now. False Bay not retreating to behind the last man's feet, unseen by the referee there. We'll get away with that one as Page gets quick ball to Lewis. The show and go, and away he goes again. And again, Sully with a great tackle there. But the gaps are starting to open now at TB.
No more hands.
Completely. I think Hammy's showing they're not afraid to spread the ball. Showing their skill as well.
Beautiful low tackle there by Jappi, showing he's not just good with ball in hand, but making an important tackle there as the number 14, Wilton Peterson, only had one man to beat. But the ball now has gone into touch. Hamiltons will maintain the possession. So a couple of good minutes for them after that try, and I think it's important that they counter and that they get some points on the board now, just to settle the nerves a little bit as the clock runs down. 13 minutes left in the first half. Scoreless at this point in time. I think any points would be good points now, TV.
Absolutely, showing their skill with the ball as well, ball in hand. I think if they just keep it intact and limit the errors, we'll definitely see a couple tries from the Hammies Oaks.
Oh, unfortunately, ball getting overthrown there. Another mistake from Hamilton's, and just to the fingertips of Frylink there. Wasn't able to gather the ball though, and now we have a scrum and a great opportunity to exploit the brown side here for Hamilton's.
Okay.
For sure, I think keep a close eye on Rudy Page. There's a reason he's got obviously Springbok caps. So yeah, let's see what he can produce.
And the ball has to come in straight, both of you. Okay, let's go try again. I was shouting the previous one the whole time.
Can I please have a vintage draft in a bottle?
Thanks to the
Sorry, can you pour it in a Heineken glass? Pour the vintage in a Heineken glass.
Coach! I got you. Bind! Sit!
Big thanks to the Bay Restaurant setting the beverages out for the boys.
In a nick of time as well. As the shadows grow longer now here this afternoon. Bit of a time taken over getting the ball in here. Boys taking a bit of a breather. I think Frylink though has shown himself today again what a talent he is.
Absolutely.
TB matching up against a formidable opponent and an international player. And so far I'd say that things are at best probably equal.
Couldn't agree with you more. I think there's still a lot more rugby to play, and I think we're going to be in for a good afternoon's play.
Crouch!
Hamilton's will be hoping to get a good right shoulder in here. Maybe get a pick up off the back. But well met by False Bay, who've now turned it over. Frylink goes to the blind side. Onto the boot they go, and here come the runners. Juppy chasing. Can it stay in play? Unfortunately beaten into touch. 22-meter line. Juppy was away there. But again, against the run of play for Hamilton's, a mistake in the scrum. False Bay, Chetty and the boys doing their thing up there. Hooked away there by Van Vuren, having another blind of the game. And we found ourselves again now 22 metres out from the Hamilton's try line. 19 points to 0. And False Bay once again on the attack.
Open green.
Maybe a little bit of a simpler lineup call here. I'd be going with Eddie Taron if I was throwing this ball in. And it is to Taron, but once again over the back. And Flace is away. Look at him go.
Quick ball here to Frylink. Flum's coming around the corner. Flame on! Taken just 3 metres short. Frylink again with quick ball. We'll slow him down a bit there at the base. So Chetty again.
Advantage being played here to False Bay, but still an opportunity. Jumpy wide and he's in. Too easy, unopposed. And he's working his way towards the post. And it's 24-0 to the Bay TV.
Incredible rugby there. Once again, we mentioned his name week in and week out. Dylan Frylink with phenomenal flat ball to that man, ever-present Yappy, who's in probably 15 metres away from the sticks.
A couple of the big men showing their steel there once again. The mistake from Hamilton's thrown over the back. Place carrying it up, taking a few runners with him, a few tacklers, and then quick ball.
I tell you what, that's a lot of meat moving at quite a high velocity as well.
He's made a tremendous impact. The double centurion, Ryan Olivier, Ryan Vleis Orifor. He's bay through and through since the under 20 ranks, and wow, it's great to have him back on the field.
Looks a bit ominous, eh? But the Hammies have no answer. It's not like the bay's been flawless either. A lot of errors, and still.
And another perfect conversion. He's seen that kick a couple of times today, just 15 metres left of the uprights, and now we have a 26-0 lead for False Bay with only 9 minutes remaining in the first half. I don't think many people saw this coming after their 90-odd point drubbing of Villagers in the derby last weekend.
Completely, I think completely different game of rugby this week. Obviously the Bay is obviously a well-prepared, well-drilled unit. So, but like I said, there's still a lot of rugby to play, and I'm sure that the last 10 of the first half will still be interesting. And I think the back 40 is going to be a good 40 as well.
And being able to perfect his kickoff this afternoon, Earl Lewis, but again beautifully weighted and taken by False Bay.
No.
Just made fewer errors on their side. I think that's been the big difference, and it's led to the 26-point lead. As Farlink waits, and there we go again to the back line. Now there's oodles of space to the left here. Decides to take on the man. He had 2 players on his outside. And now we utilise it. Going blind again here. Look at that step, and away they go. Juppy's away, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to score this one as the ball bounces back into his hands.
No. I just had to get.
And he can't score a second try there. Very disappointed, very unfortunate. There had been a knock-on earlier down.
Sorry? It's te close.
Phenomenal.
Ek hoor wat jy sê, maar daar was dadelik kontak geweest. So dan sal maar albei ouens is. Maar it's close. Ek sien wat jy doen. Ja, he tries to get there before the ball.
It's quite a big delay inside.
Guys, let's get to the right. Yes. Crouch.
About 8 years ago.
Bind. Sit.
Rudy Page feeds the scrum.
Oh no, stay.
Lewis now on the switchback. 14, another mistake. Ball left behind. Unfortunately, running too flat. Pass over the shoulder. Very difficult for Wilton Peterson, who's looked very dangerous to hold on to that. So it's just basic errors. Unforced errors, TB.
Yeah, I think the error rate's slowly creeping up to somewhere where the Hammies guys might be a little bit concerned. I think there'll be some harsh words at the halftime break.
Yeah, I think when you've had it all your own way, only a week ago, you didn't come up against stiff opposition. You were able to throw the ball around with gay abandonment. You weren't met in the tackle. You weren't tested. These mistakes weren't evident.
Completely agree with you there.
As Farling feeds, he's having a storm of a game today. Chetty holding up there for me. Hamilton's going down in the front row. Ref allows it to go on. And exploiting the open touchline. He might have pushed this too far.
Slightly overcooked that one. We'll go all the way back to the Bay 10 for a line out.
Only just too much there. Not a bad kick at all.
Alright. Muji. Which position?
13.
Yeah, I think 21 is on now. But that was quite a while ago. Yeah, as well, that was a good 15 minutes ago.
Chadwin Robertson to feed the line out over here. Just in front of the commentary box. False Bay looking to compete at the front here. Just put them off. They're going to go to Eddie Tarrant potentially. He's been a stalwart in the line out. And once again, when things aren't going your well, go with a safe option. Lewis this time finding Peterson. But that move has become predictable. I heard the bones crunching
Lucania, the
from
bone
here.
collector again with another scalp.
That was a sickening sound. I'm surprised either man stood up from that. But again, it's Lewis. As the Hamilton's now thrown wide, number 23. Skamron in place of Mujjavid van der Hoofen. Muji's off. Come back to the open side now. And again, it's Nick Rubeck carrying the ball up. He's been prominent in the loose phases today. Good carry of the ball. Quick ball again. Lewis looking the show and go. And this time he is away. Gap's now starting to open. Just doesn't have the support. Now he finds it from Rudy Page. The Test veteran goes in under the poles and a beautiful dive to cap it all off. That's more like it, Hammies. That's what we come to see expect from you this afternoon.
Hello.
Come.
Yeah, 13.
21 yards, Tarek Davids.
His first ever five.
Did he come on last week?
Much better there from Ham. He's just a little bit more
But by that time, yeah, guys had
execution.
run away with it by then.
They've basically just made sure to get the ball a little bit more accuracy
Wasn't
there.
he was at the Sunwolves.
And for the first time this
And they
afternoon, the
opposite
gap
play.
did open up. And Lewis with a
Snap
show
it
and go, managing to break through the tackle there. And then finding Rudy Page, who went in under the post.
How old is he
And
now?
good for the game that Hammies have scored just before the half-time break here. 5 minutes to go. And I could say that if they could score one more time before half-time, I think things would be a little bit more even, and they'd be a lot more happy going into the half-time break with only, say, a 12-point deficit. The kick was a good one.
Was indeed, yeah.
And the points now, it's 26 points to 7, 4.5 minutes left in the first half. And for the second time today, outside of the start of proceedings, False Bay will now have the opportunity to restart things. And Hamiltons have set up on the far side of the field. Smiles on the faces over here. Just inquiring you and Adams how many minutes are still left. 4 minutes is the call from the ref. And up in the sky, that's a magnificent hanging ball. Weighted in by Hamiltons. Drop backwards, fortunately, there. And now they look to spread it wide. Lewis on the right boot over there. Torpedo kick, not seen often in the modern game, but it is a good one.
I think Lewis, you can see he's obviously got a lot of experience. Very, very promising player as well. I think definitely a guy to keep an eye on for the second half.
He's been full of running, he's been very exciting. And if things open up even more, I don't think you're safe with any scoreline the way he looks to be with ball in hand. Off the top we go. Freiling sending it into the midfield. Double hit. Unceremoniously met once again. Carried backwards, but again good possession as Freiling sends it out to the backs now. Always dangerous. Small ball in hand. The big handoff on the throat. Carries 3 players with him. Managed to still get forward ball. Considered the blind side there, but a bit slow. So we're going to go back to open plan, to the open side. Now the carry up there by the big man, Carvalho. Beautifully presented. Chetty with beautiful nimble hands in the midfield. How's that for a ball from number 1? And back to Freiling. Not to be outdone by his halfback counter here today. And he goes under the poles. And False Bay once again on the scoreboard. But how were the hands of Chetty there? Who did he manage to feed in the midfield there, TB?
Then got it off to the flying Flace, who then made a good couple of yards to hand it off to Freiling, who gets his second for the day.
Absolutely sensational there from the Bay. Magnificent. No time wasted as the extra 2 points are added. And again, it's 33 points to 7. Now a substantial lead. Take your hat off, Chetty, for a front rower having scored a try, and then the fleet of hand over there to get the big man Flace away. Freiling can support. Champagne rugby.
2.5 minutes. 2.5.
Sounds good. 2 days.
Way better, yeah. I think also be like there's zero pressure. It's just 2x, like we'd be sitting watching 2 minutes a school game.
Okay, here we go. Not that he needed it, but old Lewis has been kicking off a lot today, and that's the first one that wasn't pretty. Nonetheless, taken in by the Bay. Freiling now sending it downtown. It's opted to keep that one in play, and Hamilton's, if I were them, I'd be running this one back, and so they do. Halfway. Taken down. False Bay over the ball, slowing it down. Page with a box kick. Nobody at home. Great option. Peterson down the right. Will the bounce of the ball favour him? Unfortunately unable to gather it in the knock-on. And False Bay breathe a sigh of relief. Great experience again there from Rudy Page. He's always been a great exploit of that box kick into open space.
Fullback. Moses on 15.
We have a change at 15 as well now for Hamilton's. Moses comes on at 15 in place of Angelo Nelson, or Sticks as he's known. He'll take no further part in the proceedings this afternoon. And False Bay now just wanting to run down the clock with just over a minute left in the first half. They'll be looking for a solid scrum and probably just looking to get out of their territory, maybe send it into touch. 33-7 at the break. Good place to be. No need to take any risks.
Crouch. Bind. Sit. Die bal is jouw lijn.
Yep, domination up front again. Sure, there's a big smile on Chetty's face, and indeed there is. They're winning that battle. Him and Van Vuren up front there. Having
there's
massive
20
games this afternoon once again for the Bay.
Still 20 seconds.
20 seconds left on the clock. Some welcome relief here. The kick is a good one, and we may have one more line out before the half, as we now have a line out right in front of us on the halfway line here. False Bay to put the ball in. Van Vuren comes bollocking in. He looks ready for more and more rugby and more contact as the weeks go by. He remembers how much he missed it, TB. And again, straight over the back, unfortunately,
You
there.
don't have to shout at me, I can count.
And numbers is the call from the referee. Too many numbers in the line out. A little bit of a dispute. Hamilton's not happy with that. And False Bay enjoying that dominance up front have called for the scrum.
It's a gentleman's agreement to announce the numbers. If they make a mistake, you still have to adapt.
Three. Difference off. He's on.
My ears, guys. Come on.
This should be the last play of the first half.
Jonathan Raphael.
David Geffen off in the front row for the Bay. Jonathan Raphael, unsung hero this far. With the Bay moving forward, he's obviously added some impetus into that front row. It's number 18. And rather than waste too much time getting that sorted out, we're going to break. Referee blows a whistle. We go to the halftime break with False Bay leading by 33 points to 7 at the break. And a lot of work to be done in the second half by Hamiltons, but don't write them off just yet, as they've shown a lot of enterprise, a lot of experience, and unfortunately just the mistakes at this stage, the only reason that they find themselves in this position. But take nothing away from the False Bay boys, as they lead 33-7 at the break, having taken every opportunity presented to them. And we look forward to a very exciting second half when you rejoin us in just a couple of minutes. Ready? Afternoon and welcome back here to False Bay, Phillip, Herbstein, as we have the DirectAxis False Bay against Hamilton's coming to you live. Production proudly brought to you by the Crazy Store, and of course our other key sponsors here at the Bay: DirectAxis, Courier, Ross Demolition, Noble Facilities Management, Avatec, ADD, Fidelity, and Bruce Jack Wines. And we're underway in the second half as Lewis puts the ball to the far side of the field, and False Bay take it in immediately. Couple of tackles missed again, and the mistakes compounding on Hamilton's here as the False Bay boys set it up for further phases. Big crossfield kick weighted in by Lewis here. We know he's a singer, but can he step? He's offloaded the ball, and the Jinx here towards the touchline taken out, and a net gain for False Bay of about 50 meters there with a good cross kick. And again Hamilton's under pressure immediately in the second half. TB.
False Bay look like they had quite a sturdy talk to by old VD. Looks like the boys have come out ready to play.
They certainly do look ready for it, and they also have possession now as the ball's going to be put in by Van Vuren here. Titanic game once again, goes to the back. Flash off the top, Freiling into the midfield. It's the Bone Collector himself with ball in hand this time, and he's taken two players out of the way with ball in hand in a carry, and quick ball coming back to the right hand side here. Some space, and it's Hock looking for support. Well met, but still managing to retain possession, and it's quick ball again as Chetty takes it up. He has had a monumental game today as Chetty. Now the box kick of his own from Freiling. It's gone just too far and met by the fullback of Hamilton's. And immediately the second half, starting where the first half left off. TB.
Frantic stuff. I'm tired just watching from this side. But yeah, again, some key players. Flace again showing his worth early in the second half.
Hamilton's finding touch just short of the 10-meter line in their own territory. Worth mentioning, of course, False Bay, where the boys, having had 18 months on the sideline, had a big clash against Brackenfell where they met each other head-to-head. Very physical encounter. And then Hamilton's, of course, in the right against Villagers, having a one-sided affair, maybe a bit more like a shadow game. And you can see that having lost the ball in the tackle so many times today, they weren't met as much in the midfield. And a lot of contact today and a lot of physicality has led to a lot of unforced errors, which puts them in this position. 33-7 down as False Bay again look to run it. Setting up phases in the midfield. All familiar. Freiling again. Spots a gap. Doesn't get very far. Another pick up and go there from Chetty. He does more than any prop ever should have to. And it's Van Vuren. 1-2 combine again. Ref in the way there. But there was an infringement offside the call from the referee there, right in front of the poles. But with a 33-7 lead, they could choose either option for me. Touchline or poles. No one could blame them.
I think call from Tarball just to put it over, compose themselves, slow it down, get the 3 points, and regroup and come back again.
100%. Worth mentioning, as I was alluding to with the physicality of the game a couple of weeks ago, False Bay, of course, also during the week, some unforeseen circumstances. A couple of guys not feeling well, and on Thursday night after practice, unfortunately for them, losing at least 5 of their senior players. I'm sure they won't be looking for excuses, but it's got to be a disruption to a side that had been preparing for this clash against a top 5 opposition. To lose some senior players, the likes of Louis Nell, Ross Taylor, Henko Martins, they've clearly been missed this afternoon. And the kicks away to the left. We're going to start again. 22-meter kick out Hamilton's. TB, what are your thoughts on that?
I think just going back, I think we saw that in the first half. The Hamiltons are struggling to get momentum, starting to get go for it ball. And like you said, 5 players pulling out after practice on a Thursday, after the build-up and after all that prep work. I think any team is gonna struggle to come back from that.
Be well advised to leave that kickoff, as it's unfortunately gone just too far. And another unforced error from Hamilton's. No excuse for that, of course. Freiling just working his way to the 22, met by Rudy Page, his counterpart. 2 wily little scrum halves, both having a blind of a game, just giving each other a high five over there, laughing and smiling. I think Rudy's enjoyed Freiling as an opponent this afternoon. There's a lot of respect out there, TB.
I think that's what it's all about, club rugby. It's all about playing a tough game of rugby, and I think at the end of the day, just growing mates, networking. I think what club rugby is all about.
And that's why it's great to see someone like Rudy Page out here enjoying himself amidst all the community personnel that we are in terms of club sport in South Africa. These, of course, are the working class heroes of our community. Without them, there'd be no higher honours. And, of course, this is where still very true and real. And the guys are out there playing for the badge. One for all and all for one. As False Bay now again in the middle of the field, 22 metres out, have the opportunity to go either way. Which way will it be? Trying to keep it up front for a while there. Rudy Page getting the better of Freilich that time. But unfortunately, it's another penalty going the way of False Bay. Knocking the ball down. A little bit of professionalism there from Rudy with all his experience. Think you could get away with that, but not in front of the referee, TB. And again, they're going to take the 3 again.
I think good calm head there by the captain Tabo. Again, kick it over, compose yourselves and go back.
I can't see why you wouldn't. 33 points to 7. 35 minutes left in this encounter. Make sure you're out of sight. And then if you want to and you've got something left in the tank, a little bit at the end there, you can throw it wide again. And you could always have an exciting finish. But secure the win. That would be a big one as well against the oldest club in South African rugby, Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. A lot of pride, a lot of tradition and honour they'll be playing for. So don't write them off just yet. With 34 minutes left, good decision by False Bay.
Completely agree. As we alluded to earlier, a lot of experience, a lot of talent in the Hammies team. And I think if they get some momentum, go for the ball, bounce the ball goes their way, I think, they'll definitely are definitely capable of putting points on the board.
And the kick is a good one.
Mark.
Always nice to have a souvenir. Always a beer in hand, otherwise they won't think it's us.
Shot, Mike.
And it's time to restart again. The ball goes in there. It's number 22. Another change here for Hamilton's. The kick, I'm not sure it's gone the 10. And it's the knock-on is the call, of course, as False Bay went to compete. Looks like it just crossed the 10-yard line. Far side of the field. A little bit of our viewing. But here's an opportunity now for Rudy Page to feed the scrum and get the Hamilton backline away. They have no option now for me but to throw the ball wide and try and make things happen.
Completely. There's no doubt they have the skill to throw it around. I think just a good platform from the forwards and allow their backs to show their talent. I see Lewis is off. Let's see what the reserve 10 can bring to the party.
We had a very good game, Lewis. I think just a few moments let him down, but certainly a hell of a lot of enterprise he showed. And for me, a very exciting player. I'll be watching him in the future. He had all the skills.
So we're going to go again. You guys are wasting each other's time now. Come. Phillip?
Game just slowing down a little bit now as the front rowers get a little bit of time on camera. I don't think they've had any shortage over the last few weeks. Titanic up front. The False Bay boys again this week. As Page now feeds the scrum. Quick ball. The clean man on the field, number 22. On the switchback again, it's that man, Peterson. He's done it a few times today. Beautifully met by Hock at the back. In fact, it was Juppy. They've managed to regain possession here. A lot better from Hamilton's. Quick ball is what they need. Quick ball is what they get. Numbers to the left. Unfortunately, opting to bash it up there with two men overlap. There is an advantage being played as Page goes right again. Opportunity here for Hamilton's midway through the second half. To cash in, lined up, of course, there. The advantage is being played here. So if this goes nowhere, we will go back for the penalty. Some hands over the ball. Page digging in deep there. Gets it away to Peterson again. He wants to change the outcome of today. He's been full of running. A real battering ram in the 14 jersey. And now it's the big man, Taron, in number 5 jersey again. He's had a big game. One of the standout players for Hamilton's this afternoon. As advantage still being played. A little bit of space to the left, but well met on the right-hand side there. Ball to ground. It'll come again. Defensive lines in place, though. All a bit too slow there. Ball now pops out. We'll go back for the penalty.
On the line. On the line.
Maybe find out 22. Who's 22? No. 22.
Hamilton's showing just how dangerous they can be with ball in hand and go forward ball.
Absolutely. I think that man Wilton Peterson They've tried to find him a number of times today. I think the 2 or 3 times the ball's gone to hand, he has broken the line. A couple of times ball was thrown behind him, unfortunately. But he's a man who's going to have to be watched by everyone in club rugby in the Western Cape. Because if you don't double up on him, I think you're going to have severe problems. Interesting as well to see him cutting back in the midfield against the run of play. And for the umpteenth time today, Chadwin Robertson will feed the line out. Will he go to his banker? And indeed he does. It's that man Tehran again, unopposed at the front of the lineup. They're set up for the maul now. This looks like a good option as they now work their way towards the line. Still moving. They go to ground.
JC.
And the call from the linesman is held up, as you can see on your screens. 5 metre scrum. Tidy stuff from Hamilton's and good defence there by the Bay.
Thanks, JC. Yeah, I called him out. Yeah, they're not shown to them back. Yes, it's going to prevent you. Yes.
Chadley Kluter. Chadley Kluter. Look around, I think that's it for now.
Another change.
The
Bay look like they're going to be ringing the changes now. Some tired bodies and of course preserving a couple of their players now, in lieu of the fact that the season looms upon us a short while from now. Number 14, Dani Roo, has left the field. Chadley Kluter comes on in his place. A couple of other changes on the side of the Hamiltons as well.
Let's go.
And another ideal opportunity here for Rudy Page to feed the scrum. 5 metres out from the left-hand touch line. 5 metres out from the try line. So they have an entire open side of the field here to exploit, with Peterson standing right across the field on the far touch line. And maybe a bash up in the midfield and then look to get it wide here. Good solid scrum. They've turned it to the left, but a penalty unfortunately against the infringement in the scrum. And now they look to get to know each other a little bit better as the 2 front rows collide, come up to meet each other, shake hands, introduce themselves. A little bit of frustration starting to boil over now, and we're going to scrum again. He's making sure there that the Hammies boys don't get the right shoulder and are able to exploit the open side.
That's arguable. Say again?
Let's go, man, let's go!
So get your locks in then. Crouch! Bind! Sit!
And again the left shoulder coming there from false Bay, just blocking off Rudy Page. Second time, maybe you're going to go to the pocket here. Professional foul. Page wants to go quickly, but I think the ref's going to have a word with false Bay. Yeah, that's twice now.
Okay, for showing you. Scrum.
We're going to scrum again. I'm sure he'll go to the pocket if there's another infringement here.
Definitely not dominance. Because his first action is out.
Good call there by the referee.
It is quite obvious with your feet going sideways.
Of course, all this helping to run down the clock from a false Bay perspective, and frustrations will be growing on the side of Hamilton's, because all they would want here is quick ball in the right shoulder and try to get some points on the board here. Marsley 7 points at this point, late in the second half here. And this time they show their ascendancy, walking straight over the false Bay players in the scrum. And now the ref does go to his pocket. It's a yellow card against Chetty. Unfortunately beaten in the contest there. And he's going to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin.
It doesn't matter who's dominant, he has to go straight, he can't put his hips out. No, that's definitely not a penalty scrum. What are you going to do? Penalty or scrum?
Scrum. Going to scrum again.
Okay.
Chetty laughing as he leaves the field. He's had a great 2 weeks in the middle. For the first time we've seen him maybe dominated or doing something illegal up front there. Nonetheless, right or wrong, he'll be on the side for 10 minutes. And we have a change in the front row now, of course.
Let's go, let's go.
Perspective of safety. And Lukanya will have to spend the 10 minutes on the side of the field in order to make sure that we have a legitimate front row in place for this next scrum.
Locks in.
All the meanwhile, though, the clock runs down.
Crouch.
Ascendancy for Hamilton's, but now points required.
Bind. Sit.
And again, the penalty advantage. Trouble coming off the back, making the tackle.
Tabo. Okay, let me tell you what. Prop is not moving backwards or forwards. He's only going this way, and that's not allowed. So you need your loose head prop. Yes.
How does it happen just
Well, because I don't know, but you have to sort that out. You must either go forward or back or stand still. You cannot go sideways. What are you going to do?
Yo.
Scrum.
It's Rudy Page rightly alludes to the fact that this is now the fifth scrum. So where to from here? Do we go to the pocket again? Time of the essence here. They'd want to get this ball in, and surely a little bit more than a yellow card is what's required. Yeah, more than ascendancy. You're not leading the game.
Crouch.
Zander Vos is now in the front row in place of Chetty, but immediately also penalty going against him. Much tidier this time. Well presented now for Hamilton to go on the attack, but choosing to keep it in there, trying to exploit another penalty, and it's a penalty try. So patience pays off for Hamilton's there. Momentum shift. 5 scrums. Penalty try, of course. No kick required in that situation. It's an automatic 7 points, and the replacement loose head is now sent to the bin, having only spent 1 minute on the field. TB?
To be honest with you, I've played club rugby for quite a while and I've watched a lot of club rugby. I haven't seen that before.
That could be a world record for a player substituting a yellow card being yellow carded.
But yeah, I think crucial that Hamilton's got on the board. Just over 20 minutes left to play, and I think went for a thrilling 20 minutes of rugby.
You should have 6 front rowers starting the game.
So there should be 6 front rowers, as you can rightly hear.
Okay, we'll talk about
because we can't be going uncontested scrums yet, but if this continues, we may well see that happening. So Hamilton's will be very happy with that then. 36 points to 14 as the sun is now behind us. The shadows are gone. The early evening here, in a magnificent evening it is here in Cape Town in False Bay. And another spectacle of rugby with a beautiful hanging kick being sent out. Taron underneath it, but beautifully taken in there by a player who can't quite make out the number. And I think Hamilton's now's the time to throw it wide and score points as Page goes left immediately. Looking to exploit the midfield, crashing it up, the substitute number 10 there. Page again with quick ball. He's been a great servant to his backline. The substitutions all over the field now. Hard to make out who's who at this point in time. As we go for the 4th phase now, crashing it up again. But not much meters made at this point in time. Taron with a beautiful offload. Now there's space. Here come the runners now. Out the back of the hand. Beautiful, but unfortunately another mistake. The knock on. And a promising move for Hamilton's amounts to not enough there, as again Spalt into touch, and the scrum will out for False Bay.
But I think some positive take out for Hammies with ball in hand, looking very dangerous, especially once they suck the False Bay guys in and then get the ball wide. Just some changes in False Bay. I see Mornay Smiles left the field and allows space for Mr. Cape Town, Luke Jacobs on in jersey 22.
Mr. Cape Town, Bo Jackson, Luke Jacobs. There was a playmaker last week. He showed his versatility and skill last week playing in 10 and then being moved out into the 12 position with Freilink also changing position. And obviously that versatility can count against you as you become a very good bench player. I hope that's not the case for young Lukey Jacobs. A very good young talent out of the Bishop School in Cape Town. Good cricketer as well.
Woolworths Boys High School they call it down here in the Cape.
You say that again, TV?
Bishop's just alluded to as Woolworths Boys High School. Uncontested scrum here. I see Dylan Freilink's left the field as well.
And they go to the air. The Gary Owen once again in the middle of the field. Good tactic. Oh, beautifully taken by the substitute fullback over there for Hamilton's. And the penalty going the way of False Bay.
Ball. Holding.
We go into the last quarter of proceedings, and with a kick of at least 45 meters coming up here, it looks like False Bay are going to go for the kick, yeah?
Also, the yes, Freilink has left the field and made room for Niaz Johnson. Also, very exciting, promising young talent as well. Keep your eye out on young Niaz Johnson.
Made a massive impact last game against Brackenfell as well. I think his first touch quick hands down the left, and Jappi scored
Scored
in the corner.
Absolutely.
And that was the versatility of this False Bay backline that came into to view that day, because that was a positional change. Then Freilich went to 10, Jacobs to 12, Johnson came on at 9, and the game really opened up. And I must say, False Bay flourished under those positional changes and substitution.
Also keep your eye out for young 23 Chadley Kluter. A lot of gas on that man, let me tell you.
Where would he be on the right wing?
23, yeah, on the right.
Chadley Kluter, yeah.
Very easy. MSP quick.
It is a very, very good strike, but unfortunately he's pushed it just to the left,
22.
pulled it just to the left of the uprights. Certainly had the distance, no problem there. But False Bay just slowing things down at the moment with a 36-14 lead, and making sure that that momentum that has been coming Hamilton's way is just stifled slightly and slowed down, so to not allow the game to go too quickly and play into their hands in this late stages. And at the moment the lead is a comfortable and a good one, so no need to take any unnecessary risk. As Flash gathers beautifully and passes the ball into the midfield, they're going to go to the air again. In fact, he's kicked it low and into the opposition. Gathered in by Jappi on the left boot, sending it downfield. Nowhere to go there. As our view is just slightly interrupted
pulling
here
the
on
ball.
far side
Nobody's
of the field.
pulling the ball.
But it certainly has been regained as Hamilton's come again now. The long skip ball. That's 1-on-2 here. He decides to break back infield, unfortunately for them, and set up another position here, 20 metres out from the left-hand touchline, 10-metre line.
Use.
Hamilton's territory. Good ball again, but no other option to send it wide. And that looked forward from this vantage point, and now gathered by False Bay as off goes Flash. Quick ball coming the way of False Bay. Some numbers out on the right here. Jacob sends it out right. Need a good clean out here. Bit isolated.
No more. No
Sorry,
more.
Medic.
You're off your feet.
Medic.
Oh, lovely tackle there in the midfield by number 25. False Bay will be in no hurry here. This penalty goes their way once again.
8.
Penalty going against number 8 of Hamilton's. Another opportunity here just to slow
Side
things
earlier.
down.
Run the clock down, absolutely. Hopefully get the 3 points and come
2
again.
more minutes for that.
17 minutes left on the clock.
Pulse.
Time seemingly standing still here in the second half. Hopefully the lights come on soon, as we're in the middle of a Cape Town winter here. Nonetheless, a magnificent day again in the Cape. No need to complain from our side. But a False Bay here, an opportunity to stretch that lead. And just ensure once again that Hamilton can't build up a head of steam.
We've got 40 seconds.
And that momentum once again stifled here. Great enterprise, just a couple too many mistakes. Of course, with the late changes due to illness. And that seems to have just been an Achilles heel here for Hamilton's today. There's a lot of combinations certainly would have been broken in the process.
I think it's key here for False Bay with the yellow cards. Just wind the clock down, probably about 2 or 3 minutes left on the yellow cards. Keen to go back to a full complement.
And with 13 points, 13 players on the field, they managed to score 3 points. Take that lead, 39 points to
1
14
minute.
now
1
the
minute
lead.
for the first card.
Chetty's almost back now, just a minute left there, so they'll be very happy with how they manage those things there, TB.
1 minute for the first card. No, for the first card. Yes, number 8. He was well offside.
Chetty will be back on the field in the next minute or so. Beautiful hanging kick once again. Beautifully taken in there by Nias Johnson. Manages to recover the ball for False Bay there. Set up a ruck.
Use!
30 metres out from the False Bay try line. Now being held up. Peterson looking for work.
Advantage
He
for the
finds
knock,
himself
it's over.
in the midst of things there. It's just some territory there. Making sure Hamilton's play in their half of the field. Now the tacklers are made
No
there.
more, you're off! No more. Stay back. What, Jess?
Lost forward again, but the early infringement there, the penalty going the way of
Thanks,
Hammies.
Jess.
I'm sure they'll look to set up a line out here near side of the field. Still 15 minutes left in the game. Kick is a decent one. Takes play to halfway between the false bay 10-meter line and the 22. Opportunity here for Hamilton's
Okay, that first card is the
to go on the attack. Some tired boys walking rather gingerly to the line out now.
Go, middle.
Everything happening at a bit of a snail's pace. That's not what Hamilton's need.
Open, green, open.
Tehran this time the lifter. Beautifully taken in the line out there. Hammies now keep the ball in the air. Lost boot in the process. We'll go to the replacement fly off number 22 there.
Release. No.
Page waits, gets it back out there. Sovli Aronsa met in the midfield. Great hit there by False Bay. And again it comes out, this time to number 18, a battering ram.
You're off your feet!
Crosses the advantage line, presents good ball here for Hamilton's.
Thank you.
As they come again. Down the backs we go, throws the ball out wide. Inside, outside. Meters made, 30 meters, still on his feet.
Release!
Fantastic run down the far touchline there. Now the quick ball comes. Opportunity for Hams to go wide here, but well met again by False Bay. Page goes blind. And you've got a willy-nilly ball thrown away. False Bay come away with it as Johnson sends it downfield. Nobody at home, keeps it in play. JP Lewis with possession now. He's looking to link up. Here's numbers here. Couldn't get it away though. Great tackle. Didn't release in the tackle. And the referee has seen it. Holding the ball in the tackle. A little bit isolated. Didn't throw the pass. And again, unfortunately, just when things come together for Hemis,
And your other
it
card
doesn't
can
quite.
come back to now.
Players are back on the park.
Yeah, he's back.
Back to 15 men now. No damage.
Just 16.
I'll check the stats, but I think that's Luke Jacobs' first turnover since 2009.
Okay.
You're a very proud man if that is the case,
Let's go,
GB.
let's go. Hold on.
I think credit to the Hammies team, even with the 5 disruptions, the guys have kept coming and they keep coming for the first hour of this game. I'm very interested to see how the last 12 goes from the Hammies pack.
A little bit more of a stop-start affair in the second half. Yeah, a few more mistakes creeping into play, as we saw again, same last week. A bit of to and fro. Falls back the way of Hamilton's now. Went for the hallelujah
Under
intercept
pressure.
there. Might have done a hamstring
go
there.
back
It looks
for the
like
knock.
he's off. Ewan Adams stretching for the intercept, and I think he's pulled a hammy there. Immediately signalling to the bench there, asking for somebody to come on and replace him. I think this is going to be the case with 18 months of layoff. The last 10 to 15 minutes, very challenging.
I think a lot of tired bodies, a lot of contact being made today, a lot of big collisions as well. I think it's definitely taken a toll on the players today.
Some big men on both sides here, and they'll definitely know they're up to no good today when they wake up tomorrow morning.
For penalties here.
Just in time for Sunday school.
Crouch.
As the lights come on now,
Bind.
reminiscing the Field of Dreams
Sit.
out in Iowa. Rudy Page to feed, a little bit untidy
Okay,
once
both
again.
win. Both win.
I think both sets of forwards are feeling the effects of tiredness
Jou
now.
taalgebruik.
When the legs go, the legs go.
There, you go. Both of you are slightly far back with your feet. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm standing on. Little bit closer. Yeah, that's all good. Crouch.
So Ewan Adams has indeed left the field. Freiling shifts to 10.
Sit.
Luke Jacobs at 12.
Good scrub from Hammies. Page goes blind. Well read by False Bay though. They make a couple of meters. Manage to get to ground and represent the ball. Now they're going to bash it up with the big man again. Number
Away,
3, Nick
Green.
Roebuck had a big game for Hammies. He's been relentless in his pursuit of crash balling it up the middle. Now they go wide. But again, the bus is full. There's nowhere to go. But Page, ever the hustler, he's working his way around the rucks, looking for opportunities, giving his side good go forward ball.
No.
The False Bay guys take pride in their defence. I think we've seen that again today.
You missed it.
One-on-one tackles and big hits in the midfield as well.
Yep, they have been solid as it were. And timeout called by the referee, a little bit of indiscretion off the ball there. Let's hope it's not too serious.
I'm going to warn you once.
There's a
you
warning.
come on the field and spoil the game, feel just as quick. Knock forward.
And we're going to have another scrum.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Another picturesque day in the magnificent Cape. Proud of the Cape Winelands, False Bay Rugby Club, hosting Hamilton's here in an enthralling encounter, leading by 39 points to 14 with a little over 10 minutes left in the game.
A bit this way. Thank you.
Proud production here this afternoon, brought to you by the Crazy Store, proud sponsor of the Bay. We thank them for allowing us this opportunity to be with you this afternoon. From my side, Steve Vestrad and Tyron Bleur, really enjoyed your company. Hope for an exciting last 10 minutes here. Thanks for joining us. Another penalty coming the way of False Bay. Another infringement from Hammies. It all seems like a little bit too little, too late now, TB.
For sure, couldn't agree with you more. I think if Hammies look back, a lot of errors and discipline definitely let them down early in the game. And I think when False Bay converted those into points, it's always going to be a tough afternoon coming back.
Those first 12 points against the run of play, of course.
Definitely hurt the boys. Definitely took the wind out of their sail as well.
Very deflating. Tough to come back for, especially when they had a lot of opportunities and a lot of possession at that point in time.
They just couldn't capitalise. A lot of errors. They ran well. I think just that final couple passes going to ground.
Couple of outstanding players on their side today. There, Rody Page had a good game. Number 3, Nick Robeck, as well as Raheed Sully. Top game for me. Earl Lewis, very enterprising. Seems a tremendous talent. And Wilton Peterson, always looking for work. A disruptive runner. Often used on the switchback in midfield. And broke the line a couple of times. I think there's a guy to watch. He looks very hungry and he looks very fierce. Not a guy I'd like to run into at any time in any bar anywhere in South Africa. That's for sure.
I think if we look around the Bay team as well, I think the presence of Ryan Olafia has definitely stuck out today, and his performance has been exceptional as always.
Now they work their way towards the opposition try line. It's a big replacement there in the midfield, just falling badly. Hopefully he can get the ball back again. And it does come out now as Johnson snipes. Oh, unfortunately there was a mistake.
And then I could look there. It was knocked forward.
There was a knock forward, otherwise he was away. I'd like to thank all our sponsors, of course, once again for this opportunity to be out here with this afternoon again. Great supporters of the Bay. DirectAxis First 15, False Bay First 15, title sponsor of the first side here at False Bay, as well as Courier, Ross Demolition, Noble Facilities Management, Avitec, ADT Fidelity, and Bruce Jack Wines, making sure that the community sport is brought to you and kept alive, and the honours and traditions of these two great clubs are brought to you this afternoon here from the Phillip Herbstein in False Bay. Much ado about nothing at the moment as Page picks it up at the base of the scrum. Looks to the sanctity of the touchline. A good touch finder from him. Wins it good 35 metres there for his side. But unfortunately for him, that will mean still in Hamilton's territory. False Bay put in. Any idea who the reserve hooker is there, TB?
10 minutes.
I think a lot of talent in the Hammies team just haven't looked to gel yet today. I think a lot more playing time together. I think they'll be a very, very tight unit and a strong contender for next year.
Here they come again with Freilink at 10 now. Jacobs at 12. Ball goes out the back end, went backwards.
Advantage over.
Here's a big opportunity for False Bay now to seal it in the dying minutes. And a dive and he's over. Stretch out the gadget arm. Go you good thing. Over in the corner. 5 metres in from the touchline. He lost his footing. Went to ground. But with one hand managed to dump the ball over the touchline. Keep control. And a magnificent try for False Bay in the dying minutes of this encounter. Beautifully worked try down the right-hand touchline, boys.
He's super rugby quick, bro.
Uh-huh.
He's fast, bro.
What's it? Chadley.
Chadley Kluter.
Chadley Kluti. Magnificent finish there.
Chadley, you beaut!
You hear the sounds of Chadley Butte coming out of the False Bay restaurant here at the Bay. Obviously another man to watch for the future, number 23, Chadley Kluti. Apparently, from what we believe, he has jet shoes, TB.
That man is fast, let me tell you. Dylan Freilich now showing off his skills, now kicking for poles. I don't think there's anything this man can't do. Well, I guess time will tell.
Well, let's have a look at this kick. Probably the most difficult kick in rugby football from the right-hand touchline. Even the best of them won't get many from this corner. Freilich looks very composed. Step forward now. Beautiful strike. Don't think he's got the legs, and it's just off to the left. Nonetheless, it's 44 points to 14. A score resembling the second team encounter this afternoon, where the False Bay boys were victorious as well. So a good outing all round for the home side today.
8 minutes.
We have it as just over 4 minutes left on our clock here, the same clock that we're sharing with you back at home. Not sure how the referee sees it, but at 44-14, as we now enter near darkness, it'll be tough for the players as we see the mistakes compounding now. The kickoff going forward out of the hands of False Bay there, and we have a line out. May have an option for a scrum as well.
It's knocked into touch, scrum or line out.
Let's go. Hey boys, 200.
This is a quality production.
Boys, 200.
Crouch.
Prior to that, massive.
Bind.
Reed Page has now taken a break. Had a fantastic game this afternoon. So had a lot of fair improvisation and great service to his backs this afternoon. But he now takes a break and is replaced late in the game. But that man Peterson, he's going nowhere as he batters his way up the midfield again. Takes 3 or 4 men to bring him back to ground. He's had to be well marked this afternoon. 15 leaves it behind. Look at Freilich, the quickness of taking that ball and picking it up. And now it goes on the black jump. He finds himself on the left wing. Leaves it behind. His legs taken out from underneath him. That's going to hurt. Didn't see that coming. And then knock on there and the scrum down. Hamilton's ball. So the medical team worked their way onto the field. That wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I was unsighted. Linesman said it was okay. It looked a bit bad, I know.
Just over 2 minutes left now, and players slowed down, guys going down at a rapid rate now. A couple of injuries, tired bodies, and of course tired legs here. Haven't had rugby for almost 18 months, so they've just got to be aware of the fact they need to get off this field without too many serious injuries this afternoon. Just a couple of minutes left. I'm sure they've done the conditioning, but nothing can prepare you for hard impact. Nothing can prepare you for being in the middle. And the kind of collisions that they've had to deal with there, and also when you're dealing with 120 kilograms of grade A meat, I can tell you it's not the sort of thing you want to take lightly. The substitute scrum off now, number 20 here for Hamiltons to put the ball in, feed the scrum here, 10 metres out from the left-hand touchline, 35 metres out from the False Bay try line. Are they going to have one final dart here? This time it looks like False Bay have the ascendancy in the scrum. I enjoyed that one a lot. They're having a game of their own in the front row there. We're going to have another reset scrum. We've had quite a few of those today. So if scrumming's your thing, you've been thoroughly entertained this afternoon. And of course, if you enjoy backline running rugby, you haven't been left wanting either. It's been a little bit of everything here today. Brutal encounter, bruising encounter. It gives us an idea of what to look forward to later on in 2021 as Live Sport returns. The ball now comes out the back of the scrum, hunted down over there by the loose forward. Tab number 7. For me, he's won that collision, but the ball's still there. It's presented as they now pick up and go on the side of the ruck there. It could be a second pick up and go, yeah. As they form the pod and they just work their way down the field, but going nowhere in a hurry. False Bay reorganised, defensive line in place, and there goes Peterson again, but looking for Arling. Smallest man on the field taking the biggest man on the field. Sovli Orenson now crashing it up. The big number 8 for Hamilton's. As the ball comes down here, open side. Good little chip in behind the players here. Magnificent chip, in fact. Now it's the bounce of the ball. Taken in by Hamilton's.
Backwards of green.
And then the ball lost forward. Absolutely brilliant bit of play here from the substitute, Chadley Clutie. Picking the ball up and sending it downtown, landing it in the field of play. Taking play all the way back to the 10-metre line of Hamilton's. And that will be about it for them today. I think they've tried everything. They've thrown everything at the boys from False Bay. But as alluded to by TB, these guys pride themselves on their defence. Not only good at throwing the ball out wide and running rugby, and of course, as we heard from Vidi, the coach as well, in the last interviews that he did against Brackenfell, the conditioning of his players are magnificent. As Robertson once again feeds the line out here, and it's that man Tehran. They've worked well in combination this afternoon here. Not many mistakes between the two of them. All familiar, bash up the middle. Ball beautifully presented. Go to the open side. Does that go to hand? Nope, just flung away. Oh yes it does, he's picked it up. Inside ball. Are we going to see a consolation try here for Hamilton's in extra time here? Runner's a bit slow to get there. They need to send this out wide now. False Bay have got their defensive line in place, and now there's the infringement, the knock-on.
Great scramble defence by the boys. Niaz making great yards to make a tackle there of a certain try that would have landed up in the corner. I think it's good to see from the False Bay boys that never say die attitude, even though they got quite a big buffer on the scoreline, still proud to protect their try line all the way to the end of the 80 minutes.
Absolutely. We have it at the time up, but of course there were a couple of injuries. There were the yellow cards as well. So the referee, as you might have heard there, in the comfort of your seat at home, probably says about 2 minutes left from his perspective. So a little bit of time left on his clock. Our clock says time is up. 44-14 the scoreline. And False Bay will be very happy with their performance out here this afternoon. Very much in line with exactly what happened earlier in the afternoon in the second team. Where I'm sure the boys, Andrew Gunner Hughes and Kersey Marshall and Ollie Stanwell, would be just as proud of their second team boys this afternoon, racking up 50 points in the second team encounter.
No, for sure, and let me tell you, that second team, they know how to celebrate. I have no doubt they are spoiling someone's dinner plans at some local venue close to the bay.
Very much a family affair, that second team there. A couple of legends in the Western Cape in sporting fraternities, not only in the rugby circles but cricket as well. As Freilink now sends that ball down the right-hand touchline, he has an opportunity for the counter-attack. What's he going to do? A little bit isolated, waiting for support, and away he goes. And Freilink is there to get over the ball as well and spoil it. Jacobs finds himself in the ruck and maul situation now, manages to scoop it back. False Bay now have possession. They're not tired of running as that man flails again.
Y16.
He's been ever present. He's had a phenomenal game today.
Yep, he takes any ball and turns it into front foot ball as Freiling throws the ball out wide. Beautifully met. Great hit that's from the Hamilton side.
No, sorry. Thought it's the other player. No hands!
No hands is the call, so we should see the ball come out sometime soon. And so it does. And now it's every man for himself, as anyone who can get their hands on the ball seems to want to bash it up. As the clock runs down here, as this evening approaches, it's that big man again, the number 2. Is that a good game, Chadwin Robertson? And there's a timeout now. Now it's a case of not having any more injuries, guys, as we're running the clock down here. I think it wouldn't be a bad time to see that final whistle blowing, because our guys are on their haunches. They're down on their heels here.
I think it's been a tough, bruising, physical encounter, a tough 80 minutes. And like you say, with being off for 18 months, I don't think it gets any easier.
It's pretty much done now.
What dreams were made of, what nightmares may come. It's a harsh return to reality for these boys. 18 months, they may have forgotten exactly how it feels on a Sunday morning TV.
It's been a super physical encounter. I think a couple guys turning their cameras off for those Zoom meetings, I think, on Monday morning. But yeah, it's been thrilling to watch. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself as well. I've been enjoying every minute with you here this afternoon. Hopefully in the not too distant future we'll be able to welcome you back field side, so you can come out here for yourself and enjoy it with us. But in the meantime, I'm sure you've enjoyed the production this afternoon and this evening out of Cape Town. Magnificent day in the mother city. Club rugby back on your screens, and very proud to bring you this production
the
in
hooker was
association with
offside.
the Crazy Store and the
Yes,
various sponsors.
replacement hooker.
It's been a great pleasure to spend the
Or Krop, I'm
afternoon
not
with
sure
you.
it is.
One final chance here for Hamiltons as they kick the ball out on the far
Okay.
touch line, about the 22
Last
metre
play.
line.
Last play.
10 metres inside the 22-yard line, and there you have it from the referee himself. Last play being called. One final chance for Hamilton. They haven't disgraced themselves. One opportunity for them to get some more points on the scoreboard. It will be a fitting end to a great encounter, I think. JP Lewis, the captain, hanging very wide to the left here. A good opportunity to spread it wide. The only option that I can see in the last play of the afternoon here.
Open green.
And it's again Tehran. Been monumental. The tower in the middle of that line out today for Hamilton.
Hamilton's have been quite superb in their set piece, both scrum and line outs. But yeah, hopefully you see the guys can convert in some points.
Hope things don't get too ugly now as they keep it in the forwards, and it's very physical there. The ball not coming out. A lot of pushing and shoving. Maybe it's time to call it here.
Collapse more.
And that will be it for today. Bruising encounter brought to you from the Phillip Herbstein Sports Fields in Constantia. Proud to bring it to you this afternoon. False Bay, the home side, the victors here this afternoon by 44 points to 14. Hamiltons didn't disgrace themselves, but unfortunately too many mistakes too early. Just letting themselves down there in the early encounters, knocking the wind out of their sails. It's been a great pleasure nonetheless for myself, Steve Vestrad, and in studio with me this afternoon, this evening, Tyron Bloor, to bring this production to you. And it'll be interesting to see who the man of the match adjudicators go with this afternoon, as we will have a man of the match just shortly coming your way. But from our side, once again, a great pleasure to be with you.
Thanks for that.
Thank you for joining
I
us.
had no idea.
And hopefully this gets you the taste buds watering again for what's to come in the months ahead. For the final time tonight from our side, Steve Vestrad, my co-host in studio today, Tyron Bloor. Thanks for joining us as we now look forward to the man of the match.
Quite a test there by the scrum, and Off-Bay just continue to say that they didn't do anything wrong. But, what do I mean,
Thanks, Mala.
exactly.
Ready?
Good day. Wonderful game there, Lacania. Big win. I think maybe the score a little bit flattering to False Bay, but certainly a deserved win. As far as man of the match goes, there have been a lot of contestants. On the Hamilton side, Rudy Page, Springbok, really had a very good game, and his halfback partner, Earl Lewis, did exceptionally well too. Lock Eddie Turon was outstanding. On the Bay side, there were many contestants. Dylan Freilink, Ewan Adams, Wesley Chetty, showing that age is not a factor, and then Ryan Ulifu, number 8. But we've given it to Lacania Nomzanga, and as Jake White always says, defence is the crux or the cornerstone of victory, and he certainly showed it with his crunching tackles. Lacania gets a 500 rand voucher from our sponsors, Crazy Store. Lacania, how do you feel about the game today?
The game was quite fun, and Hemis, they did bring their A game, but then as False Bay, we also well prepared. We've been training since the lockdown, and we tried to work hard for the league, and that's why we brought our A game.
Yes, and like I mentioned, the defence is a big thing, and you certainly inspire your teammates with those bone-crunching tackles. How do you feel about that aspect of your game?
I'm going to say it comes from the heart, you know. I somewhat enjoy it. I enjoy it to smash some guys properly according to the laws of the game.
Well, Lacania, you smashed them so hard, I dropped the prize. You get a 500 rand voucher from the Crazy Store, and we'd like to thank them for their sponsor for this broadcast. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Lacania, you beauty!
Okay, you got it off.
Shit.